last fight, I was blessed. The crowd was at their feet. The environment felt awesome. You know, it was just, I felt welcome, and I hope to continue to grow my fan base here. To defend the title is another marking point for my career. This is very important. This is another step for bigger and better fights, and I'm ready. Expect a lot of punches thrown, a lot of stuff happening. You know, is get ready, and he's better be ready.
We're just hearing yesterday, Ali, Mike, and Rocky, being here before is great. It's put me right in the place that I manifest to be as a professional athlete. My biggest strength is just experience and being a natural fighter. They expect me to come to fight, to come straight to him to fight and show the stuff that my camp been working on. He's an undefeated fighter with a 0, and he should be worried about to keep staying undefeated.
And we're back in the ring. The fighters are about to make their walk. An exciting card we've watched here tonight. And there is more to come, much more from Resorts World Casino. Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing. And see the crew getting ready over there. Jazz Socorro just looking over towards the dressing rooms because both Ruiz. So Carlos Takam now wants his shot. You're going to see him in the final fight tonight as he goes up against Craig Lewis.
And let me tell you, you know, what I've found in the sport of boxing, one of the toughest fights to win is your next fight back after a loss. And I think, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Takam, this is his first fight back after that, correct? Or has he had one?
I do believe this is his first fight back. And look, in
That's
December,
that's a tough win.
in December, Anthony Joshua is going to be fighting in his first fight back when he got knocked out by Andy Ruiz. How is he going to do? Is his confidence going to be there? Is his confidence going to be shaken? Is he going to be a different fighter? Has he learned from that fight? Is he going to be a different fighter? Same thing you could ask about Carlos Takam. Is he going to be a better fighter from what he learned against Anthony Joshua
Definitely.
back in January
I
this
think
year?
one loss, I'm a true believer that one loss is worth 100 wins. You know, you learn what you did wrong, you learn, and
Yes.
you think about it. And
If you
think
learn.
about, and you make adjustments in the gym. You know, if you win and you knock a guy out, you're just, you know, you're going out, you're hanging out, you're having a great time, and you're hanging out with your friends and your team after the fight. You're not thinking so much about what you did wrong unless you take that out.
America's Super Lightweight Championship. Let's bring out your fighters first. The challenger making his way to the ring. Please welcome Brian Jones.
At our interview with the fighters, I mean, and he's going to be taking his walk out now. This is quite an interesting young man. As I mentioned before, when we were talking about Rich Rivera from Hartford, Laureano is from East Hartford, and he is as popular as I have seen a fighter in a local area in years. They just love Anthony Laureano.
He's got that smile. He's got that personality. He's got the star, that X factor. That should he do the right thing in the gym, should he get the right wins at the right time, and get that opportunity at the big stage, you know, he's just a very personable guy. You're drawn to him. He gives you that affection, and you feel it, and that's why he's a true guy. He's an all-in guy, and that's why I like Anthony Laureano so much.
You know, when you meet him, even for the first time, he'll give you a hug and then apologize. I'm sorry, I'm a fighter. I hug people.
Yeah.
And that's what fighters do. They hug people. And I'll tell you a lot more about Anthony Laureano as we go on. But I will tell you this. I found out something about him that I did not know. I asked him, what kind of student were you in high school? And I thought he might say I was a cut up, whatever, I got some C's, whatever. He was on the honor roll. He was an absolute genius. He said I got A's in every course.
You know, you love to see people that take their education because, you know, after the sweat stops, you have a long life to live. And a lot of times these guys don't count on education as you should.
Let's get it started. Up to jazz we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your co-main event of the night. Joe Star Boxing presents 8 rounds for the ABO American Super Lightweight Championship. Your judges for your co-main event, John Vasily, Ron McNair, and James Pierce. When the action begins, your referee will be Paul Brown. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner is your challenger tonight. He wears black and gold. He weighed in at an even and steady 142 pounds. His record, 15 wins, 10 defeats, 9 big wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Clarksville, Texas, introducing Brian Sweet Jones. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on my right, across the ring, fighting out of the red corner tonight, he wears black. He weighed in at 140.8 pounds. His record is perfect with 11 victories, no defeats, 4 big wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of East Hartford, Connecticut, he is the undefeated, undisputed, reigning, defending, All-American Super Lightweight Champion, presenting Action Anthony Laureano.
Detailed instructions in the back. Obey my commands now. Good luck, gentlemen. Touch them up.
Well, there we go. Anthony Laureano against Brian Jones in this junior welterweight contest. Referee is Paul Brown. Laureano in the black trunks, black shoes. Paul Brown got the white shoes. Laureano told me that he's a boxing historian. He loves watching the fights. He said, but I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm just really learning about some of the old guys, and I love watching them. We were talking about an upcoming, the biggest 140-pound fight out there, Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor. He said, oh my God, that could be the fight of the year. And I said, are you ready for them yet? He said, no, I'll be honest with you. I'm not there yet. I'm still a developing fighter. And last year, he was Connecticut's Prospect of the Year.
And you know what? You love to see fighters that want to stay busy. They know where the stage and level they're at this particular time. And it's good to develop and get these reps and these rounds in to get to that next level and not kid yourself. Fighters that try to kid themselves or start believing their own press clippings, those are the guys that take an L when they shouldn't. They need to take their time. And Laureano is a really, really solid guy. He's a good guy, and you like to see guys like that do well. But I'll tell you right now, Brian Jones is going to go in there and try to upset the apple cart tonight and pull off this win and grab that title.
In his 15 wins, he's got 9 knockouts. He does have power, especially in the right hand. There's a body shot by Laureano, a little bit low. The referee is Paul Brown. And he was on the opposite side of that. What I love about Laureano, and I mentioned to you, and the reason I said this, about him being on the honor roll, it shows his dedication in everything he does. He said, whether I'm working, whether I'm studying, whether I'm in the gym, I want to be the best. I want to work as hard as I can. I asked him, have you ever had a job that you hated? He said, yeah. And I said, did you work hard? He said, all the time. I never let up. If you let up, you'll do it again and again. Never. Right now, he's a teacher's assistant in Connecticut. He said he'll do anything it takes to be a better teacher. He comes in early, he stays late, goes right from school to the gym. Sometimes he trains in the morning. There's nothing that bothers him. If it's too cold out, he runs. If it's too hot, he runs. He works. Everything he does. He said, you're not going to see me get tired.
You know, that's a shame when you know a guy's better than the other guy he's fighting and he loses because he didn't train properly. At the end of the first, they both, let me tell you something, they both threw a lot of punches and landed a lot of punches, but unfortunately those punches were landed on gloves. There was a lot of blocking and some good defense in there. I don't think anybody got any really clean, hard blows in that first round.
Between these two guys, Brian Jones, I think, is more of a, if anybody's going to end a fight with one quick shot, it could be Brian Jones with his right hand. Anthony Laureano if he has
Where's
one
the guy?
drawback, doesn't have explosive power. He said he's working on things in the gym, so he will be able to hit harder. Can you become, let's say, that baseball player who can hit more home runs? Well, you're not going to go from 3 home runs a year to 60, unless, of course, there's some juice involved. If you're a 3 home run, 4 home run, 5 home run hitter, you can be work and start hitting 10 or 12. If you're not a knockout hitter, a God-given knockout hitter with the knockout punch sent from the heavens, you're not going to be a knockout hitter. You can't be Mike Tyson with that one big bomb and you're out of there. You either have it really or you don't.
That's rare and doesn't happen all the time. You know, there's not a lot of Tysons floating around there. You know, we all wish there was, but there isn't. And Laureano has that mentality. He's going to wear you down. He's going to work on you, and then he's going to try to take you out late. And you know, he's still an 8-round fighter. And a lot of times, you know, when he gets into those 10 and 12-round fights, he could probably get a lot more, I think, stoppages. But I think right now, guys hang in there because he starts to wear him down around 6-7.
But he was just so refreshingly honest in his interview with us. He wasn't saying, bring on Regis Prograis, bring on Josh Taylor, bring on Jose Ramirez, one of those guys. He said, I'm not ready for them yet.
Love that. I love that about
He
him.
said, I got work to do.
Nice
I'm
left
learning
hook.
in the gym.
Nice left hook by Laureano right there, and came back with a nice stiff jab.
But, you know, some of those moves that he's making right there, you know, he gets in, he's trying a little defense, upper body movement. I don't like the fact that he's standing in front of him with his hands down sometimes. But again, he's in that learning stage.
Well, you know, Randy, what I've noticed, I've watched him the last 3 or 4 fights, Laureano, and what I've noticed, he's made certain small adjustments. His footwork has gotten a little better each time. His movement, his head movement, his defense. Listen, not big, overwhelming differences, but he does make slight changes. So he is a student of the game, and he wants to get better. And when guys are students of the game, they want to get better, they have a love for it, and they have great promotion, they can get to that next level. And Joe DeGuardi has done a great job taking these guys up and taking them one step at a time and getting them into a big situation.
Absolutely so true about Joe DeGuardi and Ron Katz as matchmaker. They have developed so much talent over the years. And Laureano is one of their next projects. And as you said, you have seen his footwork getting better. If you have a chance, and we have some of the longer shots, and you watch his footwork, you'll see how he ducks down and then steps around, tries to get to the side in one quick movement. That's not an easy thing to do. One guy who does it better than anybody I think I've ever seen is Vasily Lomachenko. And we're talking pound for pound number 1 in the world.
He's tagging Jones with some really good shots. And Jones has a nice chin on him, and he's taking it. But, you know, he's landed some good shots, Laureano.
Well, this is where I think that lack of crushing power hurts Laureano. Round 2 is history.
I don't think that one was even a question. I think Laureano, first round was kind of feeling him out. It could have went either way. I gave it to Laureano. But the second round, I thought Laureano won that decisively. And I think he's up 2-0 right now in the fight.
And it's funny, earlier this evening, I was talking about my scoring system. I like close rounds as 10-9. The last round was wider than the first round. It was not the same thing as the first round. I did score 10-9. Many times when I'm really thinking about it, when I said, okay, this fight that I'm going to do with my scoring system, I will make it a 10-8 round. And if you want to compare the 2 rounds, the first was close, I thought, with Laureano winning. The second was not close with Laureano winning. So, hey, why not? You got points, use them.
You want to. Laureano has been a guy that has, has banked rounds and gotten up on leads on guys, and then he throws all caution to the wind at the end and gets some knockouts, but mostly he'll win on points because he wins those early rounds.
You know, it's funny, in many of the big fights today, there's a company called CompuBox, Bob Canovio. They originally came to me when I was at Ring Magazine. I'm talking back in the 80s. And they said they had invented
Nice left hook by Laureano. I think he's got him hurt, Randy.
I was just talking about punch count. His punch count is way up there. Most guys only throw about 50 punches around. Laureano throws 75 to 100.
Scoring some hard shots.
But we saw the legs of Brian Jones do a Mr. Bojangles.
He did. I'm not laughing at Brian Jones.
Just needed some music in there.
That description made me laugh. Nice 1, 2, 3 by Laureano, and Brian Jones came back with a couple of nice shots of his own.
Anthony Laureano against Brian Jones. Anthony Laureano in the black shoes. Jones
Nice
in the white
uppercut.
shoes.
Left hook. Looks like Jones is kind of like just flat-footed, waiting for maybe a big shot, and he's taking a lot of punches, and he's not on his toes, and he's on his heels, which gives him very little mobility.
Laureano is using his left hook overtime. Again, there's a left hook. And my broadcast partner on Sirius XM Radio, gentleman Jerry Cooney, who had one of the best heavyweight left hooks of all time, always yells at guys, stop throwing at the head. The body is there. It's not moving anywhere.
You know, I got a chance, you know, when I was growing up on Long Island, I got to watch Jerry Cooney fight. And, you know, he was, you know, billed as the new white guy that was going to take over the heavyweight division, you know, the great white hope, so to speak. You know, they say that about fighters that are white. And I started watching films. I never, you know, of course I appreciated his talent. That goes without saying. But just recently, I started looking at some film, Jerry Cooney. Oh, great exchange at the end of that round. There was fireworks, and Laureano was pumped.
Well, he's looking at Brown and saying, let's go, rumble with me.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. And he caught some good shots because Jones took it to him, and he came right back. That was the best exchange of the fight so far.
Oh, yeah. And that was a round that, scoring my way, where I'm giving points to, you know, a wider round, I'm making that 10-8. Because I can't say that was a 10-9 round. While the first round was a 10-9 round, it was very close. This was not close. It was exciting right at the final, at the end there. Now, you were saying about Cooney?
Yeah. What I was saying was I went back and watched some film of him and some fights of him. And I'll tell you right now, man, I don't know, you know, what people think of his career, and I know a lot of people loved him, and he was so talented. He knocked out and beat a lot of good people. And that Holmes fight, you know, I was younger when that fight happened. When I watched that Holmes fight, that was a great heavyweight fight.
Oh, yes, it was.
I mean, you know, some people think, oh, you know, Holmes stopped him and, you know, this, that. That was a great fight. I mean, he really made a good account of himself.
Yes, he did, and that's when Larry Holmes is arguably maybe the greatest heavyweight ever that night. And what's funny is,
no, he was in his prime.
Larry Holmes and Jerry Cooney have become best friends. I'm not talking about good friends. I'm talking about they're on the phone with each other every single day. They go out with the wives and everything.
That's
best
great.
friends.
That's great. See two warriors be able to fight each other and then come back and respect one another enough to be friendly. That's the best. That's what boxing has to offer a lot of times. Guys respect each other after they fight each other.
Well, Anthony Laureano, in round number 3, used his left hook overtime, even staggering Brian Jones. Now he's gone back to the jab and the combinations, and he's allowing Brian Jones to back him up. And look at the jab now of Laureano. Bang, jab. It's like a piston. Keeping his hands up. There's the hook.
Nice hook, ducks under, gets away from Jones's right hook. And
see, in my mind, Jones is taller with a longer reach. Why is he putting on the pressure, getting nailed by all these shots?
see what I'm saying about his defense? Laureano has gotten a lot better at his defense. I mean, he's...
Look at that hand speed, Laureano, like a double hook. Laureano looks like he's starting to really warm up and have his way. You notice how he just stepped over to the left? He is truly having fun here.
Putting on a show, and the fans are eating it up. But you know what? Brian Jones seems eerily unfazed.
He just keeps walking forward.
Coming,
Yeah.
throwing his couple of punches, taking what Laureano gives him, and it's almost like he has this in the back of his head. I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to turn it on, or I'm going to try to pick it up in later rounds, because he keeps stalking Laureano, and he keeps doing the game plan, sticking to that game plan, I should say. But he's not going anywhere. He's there. He's right in Laureano's face.
Final 10 seconds, round number 4. Round 4 in the books. Northfield scorecards. This one for the ABO America's Super Lightweight title. Anthony Laureano against Brian Jones.
I have it. What do you got? I have 40-36 Laureano. I think it's a shutout so far, and I think that right now is a tipping point for Laureano to win this fight. But I also think that Brian Jones has to step it up. This is his round. He's got to win. And what I said earlier, Randy, Laureano knows how to bank rounds.
And quite frankly, I tell my fighters, win the rounds. Don't give anything away, because you never know if the other guy starts launching 3-4 in a row. Now you got to play catch up. Win the round, bank them.
Or if you go down and get it knocked down, at least you know you have rounds in the bank.
You know, and especially in amateur fights, and so many of our viewers are working with amateur fighters. If your guy loses the first round,
You're in a
guess
dog
what?
fight. You're in a life and death.
Now he's got to win 2 and 3 to win the fight.
Exactly. And even in a 4-round fight, Randy, you lose one round, you're fighting for your life not to get a draw.
And look, Laureano, again, it's not that knockout point, but he's going to get his knockouts. He's going to get stoppages. He's going to wear guys down, because one of his strengths is that basically he doesn't get tired. And how many fighters do you see finally the bottom falls out? They have nothing left. Laureano sets a tremendous pace. Working that left hook overtime. He's getting ready to, he was there to throw another left hook to the body. And when he's not throwing the hook, the jab is popping. There's another jab, gets hit with a shot, a counter right hand. There's that left hook. Right uppercut.
Laureano sticking that jab in Jones's face.
They are head to head.
Oh, right hand by Laureano.
That's what I call a whistling
Another
right hand.
overhand right.
2 of them in a row. Uppercuts and hooks. Overhand right again. See, to me, it looks like Laureano really launching now, looking for a knockout. There's nothing soft about his punches right now.
Jones has some chin on him.
Final minute. Round number 5 scheduled for 8. Junior welterweight bout. Anthony Laureano, Brian Jones. I'm Randy G, along with Nick Garone.
Nice shot by Jones just before he came back with an overhand right. A good shot.
Bang, bang. 2 shots landed there by Jones. Comes back again with more shots. Good exchange for him. Gets ripped with a left hook. And I think every time Laureano goes down, he throws a left hook just like he did there. He will duck down to his right, come up with a left hook. Again, he did.
Double left hook, body to the head.
Watch when he goes down to his right at left hook again.
Oh, no, over. That was a beautiful three-point combination.
Yeah.
Left of the body, left of the head, and back with the right hand. Very, very nice.
See, to me, these are rounds that Laureano is not only winning, but he's winning them wider than he won that first round. So just the way I like to score, and I would score it either way. If Brian Jones was to win a bigger round like that, I would score 10-8. I scored that 10-8 for Laureano. I got him way in the lead right now. I got it 50-42. Why? Because I've given the last 3 rounds, 3, 4, and 5, to Laureano by 10-8 scores. And again, this is a Randy Gordon scoring system.
Yeah. If you're going over 10-9, I have it 50-45. If you're going over 10-9 in your mind, but listen to me. I mean, you know, some of those rounds could be a 10-8 round. He dominated them.
The referee here is Paul Brown.
3 rounds left to this ABO title fight.
Paul Brown, a young, developing referee from up in this area. And I think you're going to be hearing a lot more. I'd like to see the New York State Athletic Commission use Paul Brown a lot more. That's where Paul Brown belongs, on the outside, using those fast hands, the longer reach. You know, when you got the longer reach and you got fast hands, why are you standing on the inside? Yeah, I mean, he's got some power. He's got some pop. 12 knockouts. Or 9 of them. I think I might have said 9, but yeah. I just gave him 3 more knockouts. It's 9 knockouts.
But out of his 15 fights, his 15 wins, he has 9 knockouts. I mean, you know, so he's knocking people out with good hard shots. And I just think he's caught Laureano a few times, but not solid enough to keep it up or hit him with more than 1 shot and put him down.
Brian Jones won the first 7 fights of his career when he turned pro in 2012. Then he started going into people's backyards. He became an opponent for a lot of guys with tremendous records. He fought one guy, Anthony Flores, with a 10-0 record. Another guy, 9-0. Another one with 9-0, 16-0, 13-0. And he became an opponent.
And here he is against 11-0 guy in Laureano. And you know what? Some guys decide, I'm just going to take everything that comes to me and I'm going to take whatever they put in front of me. Oh, nice 3-4 shots by Jones. Great job by Jones there, keeping the pressure on Laureano. Laureano comes back with a nice overhand, right? And another one, and a left hook. It's frustrating for a guy like Jones. Jones just caught Laureano with 3-4 bombs, and Laureano comes right back and tags him a few times.
Another left hook.
How many times has Jones been stopped? Oh, nice shot by Jones.
Final seconds, round number 6.
Looks like Jones is cut. I don't know if that's by a head, accidental headbutt, or a punch.
And in round number 6. See, I thought that was a little bit closer round. I thought that Brian Jones did a lot better that round. I still thought he lost it. I scored a 10-9. But let's take a look now into the corner of Brian Jones. He's got a cut around his left eye, on the outside of the left eye, which doesn't look to be a very severe cut, and it's not in a bad spot. What I mean by a bad spot, if it's above the eye and drips into the eye, it obscures the vision. This is not like that. And into the corner of Anthony Laureano. His nickname is Action, and he's given us plenty of that tonight. And see, they're using an end swell on him right now, even though you don't see many ridges and bumps. But they start to see something going on there. So you take the end swell and you lean on that swell. There is a way to do it, a right way and a wrong way.
And the right way doesn't necessarily make you feel comfortable. It makes you feel uncomfortable. It's a little painful, but when you use that in swell, you're pushing that blood out so that it doesn't get bigger and bigger and bigger and basically close your eye. Oh, look at this. That cut lit a flame under Jones. Maybe he was waiting for the seventh man to do this.
Stop!
And Anthony holds on for a second. I thought he was a little bit surprised there. And Anthony, who for a moment I thought he might just be taking a second, like getting a second wind, and he might be. But I've never known him to have any kind of stamina problem whatsoever. I think he was just surprised by the quick onslaught of Brian Jones.
I think Jones just went after him and went for it. And you know what? He's going to have to. Let me tell you something. Let's be honest here. Jones needs a knockout to win this fight point blank.
Oh, no question about it. No question about it. And I'm sitting here at ringside with my jacket off, and Nick just pointed to my shoulder, and no, I am not bleeding from the shoulder.
You got blood splatter all over you.
That's just it, and that's why when we sit at ringside, when we have our drinks, we cover our drinks. I mean, I have been at ringside before for some fights where you would have thought I was Sonny Corleone after when I was sitting there with the blood splattered all over. Sorry, Sonny, I hated to see you go like that. I think all of our boys on the Fight.tv crew,
the camera guys are unfazed by the blood splatter. These guys are great.
Cut left side of the, on the outside of the eye, left eye of Brian Jones. Doesn't seem to be a big cut, but that blood is going everywhere.
Okay, you talk about focus. You talk about focus and being tunnel vision. These camera people have it, I'll tell you right now. They stay on the prize, their eyes on the prize at every minute, every second of every round. And, you know, other than the onslaught from Jones, that first 20, 30 seconds of the round, I think Laureano has come back and hung in there. But I think this is definitely one of Jones's better rounds.
He has taken, I don't know how many hooks to the right cheek tonight. Another round in the books.
I'll tell you right now, I gotta give Jones that round.
I agree.
You know, because I mean, I'm looking for him to win that at least one round in this fight, and I think that was it. That was the round he was going to try to take Laureano out. Laureano weathered the storm and came back strong, but I still gave Jones that round because he actually finished strong also.
Well, we've seen a very sturdy chin on Brian Jones tonight. Came into this fight with a record of 15-10, but in his 10 losses, there have been some very close decisions, majority decisions, several of them split decisions, and he has been stopped on only 2 occasions. TKO'd in both of them.
Championship round.
Last round, here we go, Randy, here we go, last round. And let me tell you, this was a great fight for Laureano. I mean, it's not over, but this is a very, very good fight. A seasoned guy who's going to give him rounds and give him tough rounds and not back down and back him up and give him some uncomfortable situations. This is a great fight. And like I said, it's not over yet. And Jones is going after him right now.
Nobody has told Brian Jones, you are losing this fight one-sidedly. If anything, he thinks he's in it.
He's got a shot. He's got a shot. And you know what? We know he needs this knockout, but he's coming after him, and he's going for it.
Well, the way he's fighting this round is maybe we don't know. Maybe Brian Jones feels something deep in. I know what I've been watching. I've been watching a competitive fight, but for the most part, up until the 7th round, it was a competitive shutout.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a pitcher throw like
that's a great description.
a
It's a great
12-hit
analogy.
shutout?
Yeah.
You know, the guys get the hits and then he gets them out.
Yeah.
Although today guys don't throw shutouts anymore. They go 5 innings, they take them out.
Yeah. No, but that's a great description of it. It was a competitive. It's a competitive. What was the phrase you used?
Competitive shutout?
Yeah.
That's basically what this is. I've got Brian Jones winning 1 round of the fight, as do you. I've got it 69-61 because I had several rounds 10-8. Brian Jones does not believe he's a loser in this fight. If he believed he was a loser, he'd either take a shot and just get out of here, or he would just keep holding on. He is fighting this as if he needs this round to win. And he does. He needs a knockout.
These fights have been so competitive and so entertaining tonight. What another great card put on by Star Boxing.
Nice movement on the part of Anthony Laureano. Anthony Laureano, nickname is Action, and that's the nickname of this fight. That's what we've had, except for maybe the first round, which is a little bit feeling out. After that, the competitive shutout.
30 seconds competitive shutout. I love it. Because that's really what it was tonight. But listen, I give a lot of credit to Brian Jones. He came here to fight tonight. He worked hard every round. I like Brian Jones a lot for that. Anybody that goes through his ropes, I give a lot of respect to. He comes back with 2 good shots, and he's still throwing punches. I mean, Randy, you got to respect Brian Jones. Great effort, but Laureano won that fight going away.
I think the judges' scores are going to be more along the lines of 78-74 for Laureano. I had it 78-71 again because I scored 3 of the rounds in my scoring system wider just to tell me what a wide rounder was. So I had it 78-71. I do think it's going to be around 78-74. This one for the ABO Super Lightweight title. I don't care what you call it, Super Lightweight, Junior Welterweight, 140 pounds, all the same thing. It's for the ABO title tonight. And Anthony Laureano, I have to believe, is going to garner that title. And while he's going to win that title, I think that Brian Jones goes back to his home in Los Angeles, California. Not a loser in this fight. He's going to be applauded by his friends for the incredible performance he put on against unbeaten Anthony Laureano. and taking the shots that he did from Laureano, the left hooks, the uppercuts. And there you see them working on the cut left eye of Brian Jones. And I am going to be surprised if the scorecards here are anything other than one-sided. It's not taking an unusually long time, and I think we do have it. I'm looking at commission members. They do appear like the scorecards have been rendered. We do have the decision. And let's throw it up to Jazz and find out for sure who won the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for these fighters in our championship co-main event tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of championship boxing, we go to your judges' cards. Judge James Pierce scores it 78-74. And Judge John Basili and Ron McNair both scored 80-72 for your winner by unanimous decision. And still, the undefeated All-America Super Lightweight Champion, Action Anthony Laureano!
Well, there we have it. No surprise there. 78-74 on one of the judges' cards. 80-72 on two others. Nick Carone and I each had it 78-74. But I got to tell you, I had it 78-71 with my score. So I had it a lot wider. Again,
you gave
more
me
or less.
10-8 rounds,
yeah.
So that made the difference. But you know what? I thought Laureano looked really solid throughout the entire 8 rounds. I gave the 7th round to Jones because I thought he came out with that onslaught and he finished strong that round. And then you know what? It was very close to the 8th round, and I gave it to Jones anyway, but it could have very well went to Laureano. So I think that was definitely, without a doubt, scored right. Laureano won that fight going away. He deserves to retain his belt, and he did a fantastic job tonight. And let me tell you something. He's going to start fighting in more meaningful fights down the road because he's proving himself every time he steps in the ring.
You know, one fight that I'd like to see him fight down the road, of course, I don't think it would happen, but Joe DeGuardia has Cletus the Hebrew Hammer Selden, who's ready to fight. He just beat Zab Judah back in June. I want to see Cletus come back, and maybe down the road the two of these guys can hook up. But it is time to now step him up a little bit. But as he does admit, he has a lot to learn.